All right, Sistas fans, going to be completely honest here. If you follow me on Twitter and you were live tweeting with me last night, and if you joined in the very successful live stream we had last night, I mean, for a majority of the live stream, which was over an hour long, I feel like it was maybe 70 to 80 minutes long, we had about 250 to over 300 people, which was great. No internet issues, which was fantastic. And from there, we pretty much fleshed out the episode. Unfortunately, this was not a good episode. My boyfriend's back gets a 2 out of 10 because this further reinforces the fact that Tyler Perry should definitely get some more writers for the show. This is all the women came off as unlikable. Okay, to an extent, I don't think Danny bothered me that much. Not that much. She did have her moments, but the women were unlikable. I am sick and tired of Zach being everyone's punching bag. I'm sick of it. Karen, again, Ebony is a phenomenal actress. Tyler Perry does not write her good material. Andy and Gary isn't even a storyline anymore. Hang on, I actually made a lengthy post on the Sistas Facebook group. Let me just read that real quick. Let me do that before I get into the review. And like I said before, this is coming from the Tyler Perry Sistas Facebook group I started that has 258,000 members. So if you see that group, make sure you join in. Okay, my post from last night. Can I be 1,000,000% honest? If Sistas wasn't the most popular topic on my channel, I probably wouldn't watch or review it or give commentary on it anymore. I think Tyler Perry has disappointed fans enough with this show. Tonight's episode was a dumpster fire. If I remember correctly, I gave the premiere a 7 out of 10. Tonight, I gave it a 2 out of 10. This Andy Gary thing, which I don't even bother calling a storyline anymore, is pathetic. Seriously, what are we even doing with these characters? We're just in the same dang loop we've been in since season 1. Nothing is changing. You know it's bad when Zatima, which is only 10 episodes into season 1, or excuse me, which is only 10 episodes for its first season, highly outdoes Sistas, which has had 4 seasons and 2 episodes of season 5 at this point. Due to the fact that Zatima has better pacing, character development, and growth. While it's not a perfect show, it is still way better than Sistas. The Karen nonsense is ridiculous. I think Ebony is a great actress, but Tyler has done this character so foul. Looking at the Q nonsense, I don't even think Tyler is even trying with the writing. In my opinion, this might seem harsh, but this is, like I said, in my opinion, the only reason Zach and Fatima are still on Sistas is to keep the show afloat. It wouldn't surprise me if Tyler said, hey, DeVal and Crystal, I'll give y'all a spinoff on your own, but you still need to do Sistas in order to help with the ratings. Because he knows that Sistas is the Titanic ready to hit an iceberg if Zatima wasn't still on board. I know there are those who will go, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. However, as you know, I'm still saving up to try to buy a house, so I gotta do what I gotta do. Sistas needs to be taken behind the barn and put out of its misery, because the longer it goes on, the worse the characters are going to get treated. I didn't even like Fatima in this episode. Honestly, I should just stop the review right here, because I feel like this sums up exactly my feelings regarding this episode in itself. But you all came for a review, and I'm going to give you a review. So once again, this is season 5, episode 2, My Boyfriend's Back, which ironically enough, I'm giving the episode a 2, and it is the second episode of the season. So before moving forward, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you are aware whenever I post content on the channel or do a live stream. And just thank you, because there have been a number of comments on my Facebook group post of thankfully people not being like, well, yeah, if you don't like the show, don't watch it. You understand. This is me as a fan of Tyler Perry, but a disappointed fan because of what we're giving to consume. There have been a lot of people since last night like, look, see, this is why I don't watch the show, but I watch your commentary because A, I know I'm not missing anything. B, you make the show sound interesting even when it sucks. And C, well, I just like supporting you. So I do appreciate you all. But let's get into it. Because within the first 3 minutes, a cowboy has been shot down due to the fact that Tyler Perry has fully assassinated the character of Preston. So Danny is in shock over the ultimatum, and she doesn't care what Preston does. She feels like, you're just telling me this to make me crazy. Preston, I'm at work. It's a busy day, and you come up to me with this nonsense. And she doesn't want to hear all that. And then Preston's like, well, I can come back. What time do you get off work? And she tells him to go. Not going to lie, I'm not mad at Danny. For once, I'm on her side to an extent, because Preston pulling this ultimatum shit is stupid. Tyler Perry writing in this Mindy character and the fact that Preston had this girl in his back pocket the whole time, it basically negates and tarnishes all that Danny and Preston had prior to Tyler Perry writing Danny to ruin their dynamic of, you know what, I'm not sure, Preston. I'm sick of you always being around. Basically, throughout season 2 and, the last chunk of season 1, Preston and Danny were it. They were that couple. But then Tyler just poured everything into Zatima and didn't give Preston and Danny a swig to drink. He did put some in Danny's drink to make her go loony. And yeah, believe it or not, I think that Preston out of the blue coming up with his ultimatum is even worse than Danny getting caught twice with other men, the bartender and El Fuego, and she never gets caught. She never addresses that, but she calls out Preston for showing up unannounced. Honestly, no, this was worse. This was worse. So Preston's gone. Hey, guess what, guys? Preston is in the next fucking episode. Why? Trinity, love the actor. Preston, I love the character, but Tyler Perry just annihilated or assassinated this character. Yet he's still going to show up. This is just as asinine as the whole will they won't they between Sabrina and Calvin, which has been going on from season 1. This has turned into a damn rant. I'm sorry, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to, especially with Zatima being as good as it was. And those episodes I will be reviewing right after I finish this recording. But Sistas just pissed me off. Okay, so the guy, I think, I know the guy's name from the notes from the character descriptions from season 5, but this was months ago. His name is Joshua or something. I don't know. Look, I'm just calling him the guy with the rude wife or rude ex-wife. So, or the rude baby mama, whatever. So, guy comes up, notice Danny's crying, and he tries to console her about the whole, look, I know what it's like, to be young and in love and whatnot, and like that woman over there, we were young when we hooked up, but things really didn't work out the way we planned, but I'm stuck with her because we had a kid together. So he ends up giving her his phone number to give him a call. She's like, look, I could bump you up to first class if you want to. Oh, no, you'll set her off. No, I'll do anything to make that woman mad. But yeah, they kind of have a little spark of a moment there. And that pretty much hints at Danny and this guy interacting in the future. So we go over to the hospital. Miss Lisa, goes to get the doctor. It's like, look, baby, are you cold? Because Karen's kind of shivering, so she goes to get some blankets. And while she's outside of the room, Miss Lisa chats with Pam, which is great. This scene showed me why I miss Miss Lisa in the show. And, she's like, okay, so what the hell's been going on, Pam? And she spills the tea about how, well, Karen didn't want me to call anybody. And the fact that, the preacher man, she was using him to make Zach jealous and all this other stuff. Pam, she is spilling tea, but it's not quite, it's more like lukewarm than hot. It feels like that, Miss Lisa throughout the episode is being fed a lot of half-truths. Trust and believe, I have a lot to say about Miss Lisa, but it's not what you think, believe it or not. So, Pam goes into the room to talk with Karen, and like I said, this interaction was great. You know, the fact that Pam doesn't want to deal with her attitude. Yeah, I closed down salon because I wanted to make sure my girl was okay, which I like. So Pam tells Karen that she didn't call anybody, and the fact that, you know, Andy and Aaron did come by the salon, but I didn't tell them anything though. And then this is the part that had me going, okay, Karen, this is some bullshit based on what we saw in the preview. So Karen tells Pam to call, quote unquote, everybody, but don't tell them that I told you to call. So basically, Pam, you have my permission to call whoever about me being in the hospital, but you don't need to tell them that I said to call them. Okay. So Zach and Fatima get home. Apparently, you know, Zach did take her out somewhere to eat some good food because remember, that was her thing about the last episode. I know our date wasn't to just go to this damn parking lot. I worked the whole day and I'm tired. I want some food. So, you know, they're still on the couch. You know, he pulls his shoes off, get ready to rub her feet. And they just, to have a chill night. But the phone rings. It's Pam on the other end of the phone. Like, Zach doesn't even want to answer the phone. But Pam, this is the part where Pam became unlikable to me. I didn't mind her scenes with Miss Lisa and Karen, but she was written to be the person who's constantly throwing in, oh, you hugged up with that Fatima. You ought to be here right now. Karen's in the hospital. Wait, what? And, you know, Zach is like, well, hey, thanks for the call, but I'm not coming down there. Pam's like, I think you should. It's like, oh, you know, all this history and you ain't even coming down here to see on her. Look, you just said her mom's there. You said you're there. The doctor hasn't said what's wrong, but she has people in her corner right now. I don't need to come down there. So Pam's still running her mouth, but Zach hangs up the phone. Fatima's like, what's wrong? So he tells Fatima what's going on, but, oh yeah, well, hey, I know y'all got history, but, hey, I know we got history, but it could be the preacher man's baby as well. Because Fatima's like, I don't know, Zach. I think you might want to go down there. It's like, I don't know. Look, no, what I want to do, look, give me that foot. Let's just chill. Let's just sit here and have a good night. I'm not going down there. I don't want to be involved with this. So then Fatima even goes so far to tell Zach to call Aaron, but he's like, hell no. I'm not doing all that. And I'm thinking, oh, damn. This is the beginning. This is how it all starts. All this damn drama over nothing. So Deja is blasting music next door. And while she's not on screen, Zach calls and basically asks to turn the music down. And Deja even says, come over. No, I'm not coming over to do that. And then Fatima grabs the phone. Bitch, turn that music down. It's like, see, I knew she would be a problem. Okay, let's pause the review for a second. Because a lot of people are asking me this on Twitter. The timeline makes no damn sense. I am holding to what Deval said about Sistas and Zatima being in separate universes, separate timelines, separate continuity, because it makes zero sense. I did see the preview for next week. Deja is in the episode. Here's the thing. In Zatima, Fatima and Zach have already moved in together before Deja even comes into the picture. In Sistas, Deja has already moved in next to Zach's duplex, or, you know, next to Zach's half of the duplex, and Fatima hasn't moved in yet. So please, I'll do a brief video on this, but it really isn't anything to worry about. I know it's confusing, but just remember, Sistas and Zatima are two separate entities. Okay? That's the easiest way to put it. Do I wish they were more aligned? Yes. But this is another example of why Tyler Perry could use other writers, which is a theme I'm going to be talking about in this video. Okay, so Andy, if I'm not mistaken, she's going back to the penthouse, so she would be coming back from the salon from last week. So yeah, Andy's on her way back home from the salon, and Gary calls and, oh, well, thank you for today. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this phone call isn't that bad. It's the well, no, honestly, I know where this is leading because we saw the fucking preview. So we're just going to act like nothing happened over the course of the past few episodes. I mean, the suing thing is brought up, but we know where this shit's going. Gary wants to come over. Andy's like, okay, the way for you to get in is to write a list of one side being all the good things about us, and then the bad side, the bad stuff on the other side. Why are we entertaining this still? This is stupid. It's ridiculous. Why the fuck are we still doing this? So, Danny actually calls Andy, and she's worried because all day long she hasn't heard from Sabrina at all. And then Andy's like, that's strange because guess what? The same thing's been going on with Karen. Like, I'm literally coming back from the salon and she's been gone like most of the day. So Danny's like, look, I'll see if I'll, go to, Maurice's apartment to see if he knows anything. And Andy's like, oh, no, you don't need to do that. But, in the midst of the conversation, Andy is, talking to Danny. He's like, wait a minute, what's going on? You sound like happy. You high on something right now? No. And Danny pretty much knows that's like Andy's on some bullshit right now. And as we find out later in the episode, yeah, that's what's going to be happening. So from there, we go over to Pam sitting in the waiting area of the hospital. Again, this is like the part where I don't mind Pam. It's like she's there for her girl. Even though Miss Lisa's there, Pam's going to make sure Karen's all right. Like I said, the reason I didn't care for her in the episode was the fact that she was like really trying to push home the whole, Zach, you need to be here. This is your baby. You know it is. And fuck that. All right. Look, I'm sorry for the profanity. This ain't me. This episode just pissed me off. I'm sorry. I feel like this review shouldn't be on BET. It should be on BET Plus. I'm sorry. So Aaron just walks up out of nowhere and Pam's like, whoa, no. How do you know Karen is here? What are you doing? Aaron don't say a damn thing. Hello, Pam. Don't worry about it. Where's Karen? I ain't telling you. Did Zach call you? No, Zach didn't call. No. He wouldn't do that. And then, he just strolls down the hallway. Wait. How do you know she's down there? You know what room she's in? What are you doing? So Aaron just goes in there and Karen is like, oh, hell. This is the part look, my thing is this. When Karen, because earlier when Zach was telling Fatima about the phone call, it's like, no. I'm not going down there because I know how they do. I know they just want to start some shit and they want me to come down there, so I'm not going. So let me put it this way. This is one of those moments where a lot of drama could have been avoided if Aaron spoke up. Am I blaming him for calling Zach and Fatima going off? Absolutely not. But this could have been avoided if he just simply said how he knew. Who texted you? And I think it's safe to assume we all know it must have been somebody that works in the hospital that knows Aaron. Enough said. Because he knew precisely which room to go into. So Karen's thinking, wait a minute. Did Zach call you? Did Pam call you? No. Did Zach call you? Wait, no, he wouldn't do that. Fatima did this. She works for Andy, and Andy has your numbers, a reference to season 1 because Aaron got Andy to help finalize his divorce. So Andy would have his contact info, and then of course, with Fatima being the assistant secretary, whichever one is the proper term, she would have the numbers, but that would be a very, very bad use of client associate or whatever the correct term is, confidentiality, if she used the phone number to do that. In her own warped mind, Karen is concocting how Fatima would do this to ruin her, some bullshit. So if I'm not mistaken, first Fatima's phone goes off, but she doesn't answer it. And then Zach's phone starts going off. And Zach is like, no. That's Karen. Don't answer it. But guess what? She answers the phone. Hello? Oh, hi, Fatima. And then that's when it starts. I'd appreciate it if you mind your own business. Zach, talk to this girl. Oh, you a real bitch for that. So she just goes off, just calling Fatima out of her name, Zach out of her name. You're not even going to ask me how I'm doing? Pam called you. Yes, she did. And you're not even going to ask me how I'm doing in the hospital? The less I say about this scene, the better, because it was just nauseating to sit here and listen to this. And I'm just sitting here the whole time like, Tyler wrote this. Tyler has reduced Karen to this. Whole time Aaron's like, wait, no. But no. Now and Remember, okay, if you're, let's throw it back. Thanksgiving's coming up next month. If you're familiar with the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and I'm pretty sure you are, that scene where Peppermint Patty calls Charlie Brown and basically invites herself, Franklin, and Marcy over to Charlie Brown's house for Thanksgiving dinner, and Charlie Brown could barely get a word in. That's exactly what happened over the phone. And then the conversation, is hung up on. So Fatima is now upset because she wants Zach to straighten Karen out. Zach, all those times she called me out of my name and you didn't do anything. Fatima, Zach told your ass not to answer the phone to begin with. This is what I hate. Zach is everyone's fucking punching bag. Now, Zach is rightfully upset, like, okay, you're mad at me. Now Karen has ruined our entire evening. And, Fatima goes upstairs because she's mad at Zach for how Karen talked to her, even though she was the one that answered his phone when he said, don't answer it. So now Zach is the bad guy. Zach is the one who messed up. Zach, my exes don't call here, starting all this drama. And I'm like, well, the Ian thing, yes, he hasn't popped up at the house, but I guess I can't say shit because, again, different universes. But Fatima just, this felt extremely forced. Just like the Andy and Gary crap, but we'll get to that. So back at the hospital, Karen's off the phone and she's just mad and Aaron's just standing there like, so Miss Lisa is like, why are you here? You need to go. So Miss Lisa comes in with the blanket, sees what's going on, notices the blood pressure, and shoos Aaron out of the room. Because, oh, hi, I'm Aaron. Look, I got a haircut, not of, I forgot what she said, like brain surgery. I don't remember who you are. So she tells Aaron to start stepping. And the doctor is apologizing because of the late test results, but she will be coming in here soon. And she goes outside with Aaron saying, I want to talk to you. Karen's like, no. It's like, no, I want to talk to him because remember, she is assuming that Aaron is the cause for her blood pressure going through the roof right now. When in actuality, I really wish she had come 30 seconds earlier to hear what was going on. So this is the part of the episode that kind of had me mad because instead of wasting all this damn time on the Andy and Gary stuff, why didn't we get a couple of minutes of Miss Lisa and Aaron talking outside of the room? I mean, hell, Pam would have been eavesdropping, but, she could have, like, sent him home. Like, you need to get out of here. Like, my daughter is going through a lot right now, and you're around here, running up her blood pressure. But, man, I just want to let you know, it wasn't me. She was on the phone just now and I don't want to hear it. So she, basically being dismissive of him just like she is of Zach later on in the episode. So we don't get that. But what we get instead is a waste of damn time. So Andy, who said she was giving up the penthouse and whatnot, for whatever reason, started redecorating and changing stuff around. But why would you do that? And you said you were giving it up. But then again, the time and how this thing works makes no sense because I guess we're supposed to believe a considerable amount of time, if not a week or a few days, have passed since the last time we saw the penthouse, which makes zero sense. But yeah, apparently she redecorated. Somebody pointed this out to me last night on Twitter because I said, okay, so at the end of last season, Gary couldn't even sit in the same spot on that couch where Andy was getting back shots from Robin, yet now he's initiating having sex. Is this like a marking of the territory thing in the same spot? But somebody's like, oh, actually, that's not the same couch that Andy had before. Oh, I didn't notice because I didn't care. This entire scene was asinine. Gary apparently doesn't have a list. He's like, he has 3 things on it. Look, you're perfect. And I can change. Gary, you've already said all that. Wait, controlling, manipulative. Come on. And it's like, this is the same shit we always do. I don't even want to talk about it. She asked him to leave. He starts undressing. I want to show you why you keep coming back. And then they start going at it. I mean, the music that was playing in the background during this scene, it sounded like one of those, like, Geneva chocolate. You know those bougie ass chocolate commercials that come on TV? That's what it sounded like. That was the vibe I got from this sex scene. And this was same old shit. I could see Sabrina and Calvin getting back together because it's just the same repetitive damn circle over and over and over again because we're not getting anywhere with these characters. Why are we doing this? All right. So let me talk about Danny going over to Maurice's apartment and then the cliffhanger ending, and then I'll finish up the Karen stuff. Let's do that. So Danny gets over to the apartment. I guess Q must be in Maurice's room or something. He's not there. I don't know where Q is, but it's just Calvin there. So Calvin, talks with Danny about Maurice not being there, and Danny is concerned because she knows what's going on, but it slowly starts bothering Calvin about how, okay, you're not telling me something. What's going on here? Come on, Danny, you gotta tell me something. So she mentions, I have a friend who was talking about how, the bank was under investigation, Sabrina Maurice, about the robbery. Wait, what? So look, just call me. Let me know something. So Danny puts her number in Calvin's phone. So as soon as he hears something from Maurice, he'll touch base. He does call right in front of her to Maurice, and he has a, rather vulgar voicemail. And Danny does. I didn't even notice this. I think I saw her kind of like bend down a bit before she left the apartment. At first, I thought it's because she was like, oh, maybe she dropped her phone or something when Calvin handed it back. But no, apparently she did like a curtsy or bow and then left, which honestly, I felt we were long past that, Danny taking shots at Calvin's sexuality, but whatever. So, Danny leaves and she walks in on Andy and Gary doing it at the penthouse, which leads to a major continuity flaw, in my opinion. It's not an uncommon trope. It's like a Tyler Perry recurring joke that characters constantly walk into each other's homes without any knocking on the door or respect. But the thing about Andy's penthouse, it's been pretty consistent that anytime anyone other than Andy goes to the penthouse, Andy will get a phone call from like the bellhop or whatever, or bellman, to say, hi, Miss Barnes, there's someone here to see you. And then, oh, it's Karen, it's Gary, it's El Fuego to, do his job sweeping the apartment. Whoever it is, Andy is, informed before they come up. Now, for whatever reason, Danny just strolls on in there, because here's what I was thinking earlier in the episode when Andy and Danny were talking on the phone, when Andy was on her way back to the penthouse. Maybe Andy or Danny was like, here's what I thought would have happened. Danny could have been like, hey girl, how about this? How about, can I come over to the penthouse so we can kind of talk things over because I'm worried? Then maybe Andy's like, yeah, you know what? When I get home, I'll tell the person at the front desk that when, you come over, you're automatically allowed to come through the elevator without having to call me first. That didn't happen. Andy and Gary are having sex, and Danny just walks in, and then Gary rushes to go to the bathroom to get dressed. But does he really even need to? Danny was the one that just barged on in there, but whatever. All right, so let's go back to the hospital. Doctor comes in, tells Karen that her iron is low, blood pressure's through the roof, and the bleeding is stopped, and the baby is just fine. I know this sounds evil, but I'm just sitting up here like, shit. All right, so her mom, is pretty much being a mom. I love those memes where it's like me in my 30s, my mom making a doctor's appointment for me. That's what it felt like. It felt like Karen was a little kid, and her mom's like, hey, don't worry, doctor. I'll make sure she'll eat more vegetables. I'll make sure she gets all the bed rest she needs. This was a cute scene. Like I said before, and I'll mention this a little later because I made another lengthy post about Miss Lisa in the on the Facebook group, and I'll read that when I get to the apartment scene. But yeah, basically Miss Lisa makes sure that, will make sure that her daughter is going to be good, because the doctor is just saying, look, you got a lot of stress going on. Can you take, bed rest and whatnot? Thankfully, because she is the owner of her own salon, Karen is able to, take a few days off to be off her feet and catch her on a rest. And that's pretty much it. So the doctor does say she wants a appointment follow-up in about 2 weeks. So whenever that appointment happens, I guess we can say that, hey, 2 weeks has passed, which could be 2 seasons from now for all we know. But I'm going to be honest, between now and the 2 weeks, she'll probably have a miscarriage. Cause I'm just thinking to myself, and I mentioned this on Twitter. I'm like, look, the doctor taking forever to come back. The way Karen's stressing herself out, she's going to give herself a miscarriage if she hasn't already had one already. All right, so going back to Zach and Fatima's still pissed. Zach goes upstairs about the whole, you didn't stop her from calling me out my name and yada yada yada. Zach's like, fine, you want me to go down to the hospital? I'll go down there and set everybody straight. So it's funny because this was a pure Zatima scene right here. So Fatima's like, I'm going to sleep. I know you ain't sleep with all that makeup on your face and that wig on your head. I want to come back there. I want to straighten them all out. I'm going to take that wig off your head. That's what I'm going to do. So he goes downstairs to get dressed. He calls Pam and says Karen's on her way home. Oh, you going over there? Bye, Pam. So he gets off the phone with her. So from there, we go over to Zach going to the apartment. And since I've already talked about the Danny walking in on Andy and Gary, this is the final scene for me to talk about of this episode. Zach knocks on the door. Miss Lisa answers. And, while I'm happy that, wow, the last time we saw these two together was at the tail end of season 1. But now that we have this little reunion, it doesn't really sit well with me. So, Zach wants to talk with Karen. And at first I'm like, Lord, is Zach not going to say the reason why he's here? Is he just going to beat around the bush and then get told to go home? But no, Miss Lisa actually pushes him to say, look, Karen's asleep right now. She went through a lot at the hospital. So talk to me. What's going on? All right. Because here's the part that got me. So he's like, look, if this baby's mine, we need to figure this out. Wait, don't tell me you're on the baby train too. And I'm like, Miss Lisa, why are you acting surprised by this? You assumed it was Zach's. Like, where's the baby daddy? Okay, all right, where's the daddy at? Let me call Zach. Oh, actually, I'm not sure that it is Zach's baby. But I mean, yeah, how many people do you think it is, Miss Lisa? So, yeah, Zach says, well, it could be mine or the preacher's. But, I'm here to talk to her because she kept calling, blowing up my phone, calling me and my girl or my new lady out of her name, calling her a bitch. Well, is your new woman a bitch? No, she's not. And I'm like, here we go, Miss Lisa. And then it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, so we need to talk about, this child is mine and whatnot. And, well, if it is your child, since you're doing well, she'll be doing well. And Zach had that look like, oh, but it's like that because here we go with yet another woman claiming Zach is the father of their child, trying to bleed him dry, which pretty much means that Miss Lisa is going to, make sure that her daughter is well taken care of. If, Zach, well, even if Zach isn't the daddy, whoever the baby daddy is, she's going to make sure that Karen is taken care of. But from there, she just pretty much tells Zach to go home. And that's pretty much all I have to say for the episode. Now, as for the post I made, here's what I said. Honestly, I'm not mad at Miss Lisa. Did I care for how dismissive she was of Zach and Aaron in the episode? No, but that's because I understand. She's in total mama bear mode, and it makes sense. She pops up out of the blue, finds her daughter in the hospital. Yeah, she's going to be in protective mode. However, she needs to retract her claws and find out what's really been going on before slashing away at people. Pam is the only one who knows the tea, but she's not always the most reliable source of information. I didn't really care about how Tyler wrote her in the episode for her just constantly, saying, you hugged up with Fatima and you're not here for Karen. So far, Miss Lisa has mauled everyone, mama bear mode, but her daughter, despite Karen being the one who needs a good mauling herself. I know that sounds weird, but you understand what I mean. The whole you're doing well, so she'll be doing well line didn't sit right with me because here we go again with another person trying to bleed Zach dry over baby daddy claims. Basically what needs to happen, we do know in the future that Zach, Aaron, and Miss Lisa are going to be at the apartment. I think this is episode 5, but we need a full meeting. Miss Lisa, Karen, Zach, Aaron, and even Fatima need to break down what's been happening. Karen is only going to tell her mom half-truths and come across like she's the victim, when in reality, she's been the cause of most of her own stress. If Zach and Aaron tell Miss Lisa about what's been going on, and she still sides with Karen over them, I'm done with her ass too. Karen keeps acting like Zach dumped her and moved on, however, it was the other way around. So, I'm not mad at Miss Lisa. I didn't really like how she, acted towards Zach and Aaron. But like I said, I understand. She pops up, finds her daughter in a vulnerable state, not really knowing that her daughter put herself in this damn position to begin with. But yeah, she's going to side with her child. It's kind of like in Zatima when Angela gave Zach attitude about Belinda telling her that he made a move at her and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, we got history with Belinda and Fatima's my girl. I'm not going to believe you. You're new. But she did apologize after she realized the truth. In this situation, here we have, Zach is the villain. Oh, Zach is hugged up with this other woman when he should be here with Karen. Or, if you're doing well, she'll be doing well, without really considering, well, Zach paid her back $77,000. Zach got arrested on false pretenses because Karen got him locked up. Karen moved on before Zach moved on. It's just a list of things. Miss Lisa needs to be told the truth. And then based on what she does after she hears that information, that's going to dictate how I feel about her. So there we go. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the episode. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and I'll catch you in the next one.